3 keys to stopping domestic violence. When I talk about domestic violence right now, I am specifically talking about intimate relationships. I'm talking about 2 people who entered into a relationship and at one time told each other that they loved each other, they cared about each other, and that they were there for each other. I'm talking about that relationship where something went terribly wrong because now one of those people in that relationship is abusing the other person, either mentally, physically, or both. 3 keys to stopping domestic violence. Number 1, we must learn to love, honor, and respect ourselves. Number 2, we must learn to love, honor, and respect others with the understanding that there are some people who we love, honor, and respect that we have to love, honor, and respect from afar. And number 3, we must learn to listen to our gut feelings, our intuition, our inner voices, our inner awareness. I'm going to start with number 3. Over the last 2 decades, I have attended more domestic violence awareness programs and events and conferences than I can literally count. And at all of those events, at the churches, the schools, the universities, the hospitals, in the community, at all of those events, there's at least one person, sometimes more than one, but there's at least one person who will share their story of how they ended up in a domestic violence relationship. And thank goodness most of those stories end with the person also sharing how they got out of that relationship and moved on with their life. But there's one common thread in all those stories. And I've heard the stories from men and women, predominantly women, in Canada, Australia, California, North Carolina, Texas, New York, you name it. I've heard their stories. I've heard the stories. And there's one common thread in all those stories. And that is the part where they say, there was something a little uncomfortable about the relationship, but I went ahead with it anyway. Or the part where it says, my friends told me that they didn't think he was the one. Or my mother said, baby, I think you need to slow down on this. I think we need to do some more checking on him. What I'm trying to say is there's always that part in that story where they talk about how there was literally some writing on the wall, but they did not read the writing, or they totally ignored the writing on the wall. I'm talking about the warning signs. I'm talking about the warnings. I'm talking about when your gut feeling, there's something in you that says, there's something wrong here, but we go on anyway. I believe that in intimate relationship, domestic violence, I believe that if we could just learn to follow our intuition, our gut feeling, that we could avoid so many relationships that become violent if we would just heed the warnings that we usually feel, or our friends and families usually give us a hint. There's usually some writing on the wall that says, go back the other way, but we choose to ignore that. And I'm just saying, we need to pay attention to those feelings and those little things that happen that make us feel uncomfortable, and really take them seriously and go with our gut. Go with our inner voice. Go with what our intuition is telling us we need to do. Okay, number 1, love, honor, and respect ourselves. Because if we truly, truly love, honor, and respect ourselves, and we're in an intimate relationship with someone, we are not going to let that person dishonor and disrespect us. Number 2 was learn to love, honor, and respect others, with the understanding that some people need to be loved, honored, and respected from afar. Now, if you can learn to honor, love, and respect others, first of all, that means you're not going to be abusing other people. And secondly, if we learn to love, honor, and respect others, when we do get that gut feeling and we're feeling uneasy and we're thinking, I don't think I want to go forward with this relationship, it's going to relieve the guilt. Because what you're saying is, I don't hate this person. I still honor and respect. I even love this person. It's just that this is not the person who I want to be in my life. This is not the person who I want to share my bed with. 3 keys to ending domestic violence. We must learn to love, honor, and respect ourselves. Learn to love, honor, and respect others with the understanding that some people need to be loved and honored and respected from afar. And we've got to learn to listen to our inner voices, our intuition, our awareness.